be able to have some fun here though. Alright fam, what's good? Welcome back to Unlockable Character on this rainy Monday. But trust me, it's gonna be a good one. We have been up since 3:30 a.m. today. You know, the life of an entrepreneur is not 9 to 5. It is legitimately 9 to 9. And you have to prepare yourself for that. And you have to be able to balance things in your life. You know, you're gonna have loved ones who want to spend time with you. Well, unless you fully focus on the tasks at hand and execute on them, you won't be able to balance your life. And wisdom, maturity, all of that goes into actually mastering the ability to execute at speed, which is one of like the most key principles of life. You know, delivery and closing the gap between what you want to do and actually accomplishing it. And a lot of that is just really focus and being able to solely focus on a singular task at a time. I just got done with the gym and it's like 8:30. And you know, previously in my life, like maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if something came up in the morning like it did today that I had to take care of at 3:30 a.m., it would have thrown off my entire day. But I got to it, I executed. I found a successful solution to the problem, and I still really wanted to go to the gym. And that's what consistency, hunger, and discipline is gonna do. You know, the discipline is gonna make you go, and the execution is gonna give you the time. I mean, I had a little bit of time, I took it, and now we can create content, get a nice rainy POV with motivation and wisdom for you guys, you know what I'm saying? I have it in track mode, that's why this screen is off. I'm really happy for the rain. It's been a little bit of a thunderstorm. There was so much pollen yesterday. This will wash everything away, but what ends up happening is there's yellow pools of pollen all over Atlanta. I can feel it in the car. That's all right though. Can always get the interior detailed. But that's what happens in March, guys. I'm not sure if this person knows what they're doing. Guys, speed doesn't kill. Indecisiveness kills. Coming to a stop suddenly kills. I guarantee you more of America's driving issues are to deal with people who don't know where they're going, who are on their phone, and who also just hesitate and stay in the left lane. I did adjust the burble now on MHD. It's 0.3 seconds. It's really nice. It's like pop, 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 pop every time, consistently. I am in all-wheel drive, guys. I have stability and traction off, and over time as a driver, you'll learn when your tires are slipping. Right now, it's about 70 to 80 miles an hour. Past 50% throttle, the tires are gonna slip. So I know that in the back of my head, and I'm prepared. I also know where the uneven terrain is, so I'm not gonna try and go over uneven terrain while accelerating too fast. What you really want to avoid is some of your tires getting traction while the others don't. That's what's gonna throw you for a spin. You might be able to have some fun here though. was hilarious. Literally a 5th gear slide. And as you can tell, it took time for the traction to get back at the end. This is pretty normal for 840. There's lanes merging on the right hand side coming into 400 south here, and there's also an incline where people slow down naturally, so it's all wrapped in a sweeping corner too, so no surprise, guys. So at any time you can hit M2 to put it in comfort settings. You hit the valve controller and it completely turns off the car. Meaning the exhaust note, I should say. And there is still the exhaust button here on the center console, so I'm interested to see with MHD on. Let's put it into rear wheel drive again, even though we're in the rain. And I hit this burble button. I feel like that completely turns off the burbles, which is pretty sweet. We'll have to test that further. Might be an oh no, it's a Porsche. I think it's a Porsche. What's that electric one, guys? A Taycan? I swear it has a similar front end to the R8. When you look at a Taycan and an R8 from the front end, you'll start to notice a lot of differences. Not a lot of difference, a lot of similarities in the front bumper. Let's see what else we can spot in traffic, guys. I'm digging the Lexuses, to be honest. Very nice styling. They were the first ones really to do the crossover SUV pretty well with the RX in the early 2000s. BMW was, you know, in that game early on too with the X5, I think. The X3, when it was introduced compared to now, is crazy. It was so cheap and plasticky. And now you look like an X3M. It has the same engine as this, the M4, the S58 engine. That is a crazy value. Those are coming down to like $50,000 and less. And it has the same potential as this car. So, you know, 700 plus wheel horsepower without having to build any internals, build the transmission, upgrade the turbos, you know. Pretty sick, to be honest. The M8s are also coming down in price, and those are V8 twin turbos. I've been told they're not as reliable though, the engine. So I stayed away from them, but just I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they were at $100,000 used ones, and now they're dropping to like 70, some are below 70. They introduced bucket seats on the M8, similar to the M4 and the M3 later on. Those are probably holding their value pretty well. We still have the burble off, that's why there's no burble. Yeah, so this button really does adjust the burble. That's awesome, guys. Right back to the burble when we turned it on. That's amazing. Super cool that you have that in the car, and I wasn't really thinking about that. So when I had the burble on like the maximum settings, you can just press this button if you want to tone it down. trust rear wheel drive. You'll feel the difference immediately. The middle lane here has some pretty bad potholes when we get to the change in the road texture, so I try and avoid it. That's where it was. You also have everyone trying to get to the right lane now for the Buckhead exits. That slows things down here. Look, Corvette out in the rain, that's cool. Check it out, fam. Super sick. Wow. Oh. Like I said, 70 to 80 is where the traction is really limited right now. Oh yeah, that sounded excellent. Oh. Too fun. Surprisingly, this is I don't want to speak too soon. Surprisingly, it's pretty open though. Watch out for those puddles towards the side of the road, guys. Those can definitely get you. Oh yeah, that 0.3 is super nice in terms of burble. Super crisp. Then again, we can just turn everything off, close the valves, go to comfort settings. Oh man, I hope that didn't hit the camera. That's hilarious. The water just dripped from the bridge. Too funny. Remember, fam, it's just water. It's not gonna hurt your car. The only thing I would really care about is if I lived in the Northeast or someplace with a lot of snow and salt on the road, and then just, you know, coating the undercarriage of the car, the bottom of it, to prevent rust buildup. Here, not really worried about it, you know. And with PPF, you're not worried about like acid rain, things like that. The whole car is PPF'd. The roof on this car is carbon fiber. That's another thing that PPF can really help with the longevity of, which is preventing it from delaminating from harsh sun, you know, and fading and things like that. PPF can really extend the life of your carbon fiber parts. know, in America, most people don't realize, but the majority of the population is just, you know, 1 or 2 paychecks away from not being able to pay their rent, not be able to pay their mortgage. And right now, the short-term pain that's going on is impacting more people than I think the government realizes. The numbers don't really back up the unemployment data right now. If you really looked at the true unemployment rate, it would be something like 15 to 20% in the US. The numbers even produced for inflation are not really a true measure of what people are feeling. And that's why, you know, decade over decade, there's been a bigger gap between Main Street, which is, you know, American homeowners, consumers, you know, and Wall Street, which is really the 8-figure and up class that just has completely separated itself in terms of assets, wealth, and being out of touch with general Americans, you know what I'm saying? Okay, there might be a lot of sand there, guys, so it's another reason to go to the car wash. Maybe when it cleans up later today, we'll go get some more content. After a strong day of work, you know, there's nothing like taking the car out for a spin, and now we get more daylight than ever, which is tons of fun. Fighting, not pushing it. We're in rear-wheel drive. Going to all-wheel drive. Yeah, I'm loving the way I've custom tuned the XHP tune and adjusted the MHD burble. This is bang on. I might tweak XHP one more time, but I feel so good right now with how the car is driving. Pretty moody day, you know, but the thing is, guys, you can create your own mood. If you're always relying on external factors to help you get through the day or look forward to something that is out of your control, your life will never be where you want it to be. You can absolutely create rituals, habits, routines that will give you things to look forward to. You know, it'll make you feel better. You won't be worried about what the weather is because you're generating your own sunshine, you know what I mean? And people will sense it, people will feel it. And the thing is, the hardest part about, for example, starting a YouTube or creating content on rainy days or negative days is like getting over the cringe factor of yourself, like your voice, what you may look like. You have to get comfortable with ugly situations and the ugliest part of yourself. You have to be able to stare at it and come to peace with it because, you know, that's you. It's not going anywhere, and it's okay. Like, it's perfectly fine, you know? And once you start creating content, you know, you'll get to be more at peace with yourself. There might always be a little bit of that, you know, sense of like, you know, trying to be perfect, and it's never perfect, but I'm telling you, the more you do it, the more at ease you'll be. One sec, guys. Yeah, fam, my girl just got 3 offers for jobs, which is super sick, but she has to turn down 2 politely, so she just called to ask me to look over the email. You know, professionalism goes a super long way. Communication, professionalism. You shouldn't be afraid to be direct, and a lot of people are. And it's not personal, it's just that you want to get business done, you know what I'm saying? People always get that, I think, a little confused. You're not, you know, you're not responsible for a company's feelings because companies don't have feelings. Alright fam, I'm gonna cap it here. Catch you next time.